Well, hello everybody. I'm Dr. Robert Buda, the Lifestyle Doctor. Today we're going to be talking about exercising, or rather, we're going to be talking about the different types of physical activities. So we have movement, exercise, and training, and what the difference is between all that and why it is important. So, a lot of people, a lot of experts will actually say that doing something, just like walking, is better than doing nothing. And I would generally agree with it. I mean, going out for a walk is better than sitting on your butt all day and watching movies. That being said, I think that we need to go beyond that on a regular basis. We can't rely on just those little walks and those little incidental activities that we do. I can't tell you how many times someone has said to me when I ask them, do you exercise or how are you exercising, that they tell me, oh, I do a lot of walking at work. Oh yeah, I move a lot. I get up out of my chair, I walk around. That doesn't count as exercising. That counts as movement. So let me break down the three physical types of exercise of movement. We have movement, so that's walking, going and checking the mail, or walking back and forth between the refrigerator while the big game is on, or even going for a hike. These are all walking, cycling to work. These are all movement. Okay, we want to be focusing on movement, and we all should be moving on a regular basis. Now, when movement turns into a more strenuous activity, that's when we're talking about exercising. So that's when we're talking about the dedicated gym workout, or when we're talking about getting out there and playing a sporting game or training for that sporting game. All that sort of training is actually exercise, not training. So we have movement, which is generally moving around, exercise, which is a dedicated, regime where we're trying to raise our heart rate, but we don't necessarily have a particular goal in mind. All we're trying to do is get healthier. Now, training, that's something different entirely. Training is when you're trying to hit a goal. That's when you're trying to get better than what you were before. Now, I have a goal this year, a big physical goal. I am trying to be able to do 50 pull-ups in a row, and that requires training. If I just did exercise and movement, I ain't going to get anywhere near that. So I have to approach this from a training perspective and train regularly in order to achieve this. Now, this is important because I think that everyone, once a year, should engage in training, right? Not just exercise, not just movement, but training. Pick a goal. Pick a goal and strive for it. Now, let me give you an example of this. In late 2012, my wife, in her humble wisdom, decided to ask me if I wanted to do an event called Tough Mudder. Now, at the time, I was doing, walking regularly, the occasional push-up, and I was kind of hovering between movement and exercise. I wasn't really doing any training. And so for our anniversary present, this is what she bought me, an entry into Tough Mudder. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, that's a 20-kilometer mud run and obstacle course. It's, an endurance event, but it also requires strength and power. There's a number of different obstacles, that endurance won't help you with. You really need strength to get through it. It also requires a kind of mental toughness and mental attitude about achieving it and completing it. Now, I asked a number of people if they would like to do it with me. I asked friends, I asked family. And a number of people closest to me actually ridiculed me for it. Actually, made fun of me and said, oh, I was going to die, or, I was going to get injured, I wouldn't be able to work, I wouldn't be able to provide for my family. They made a big deal about it. They said that was not a good thing for me and that there was no way they were going to do it with me. So naturally, I took this as just the drive I needed to train and train hard. Mate, did I train hard for that. And when I completed the event, I did it in 2.5 hours, and the average time was 3 hours and 45 minutes. So I set a very respectable time. Now, could I have achieved that if I hadn't trained? Absolutely not. If I just kept doing what I was doing with the movement and the exercise, I would have set a time probably slower than the 3 hours and 45 minutes. I would have set a very bad time. But with all the training I did, I was able to absolutely smash it and complete every obstacle along the way and not skip any of them. That's the difference between training, movement, and exercise, or rather movement, exercise, and training. So what's your goal? What are you trying to achieve? This year, if you haven't picked something, if you're not striving for something, set a goal. Set a goal and train for it. If we don't stretch ourselves, we stay in the comfort zone. If we stay in the comfort zone, then what happens is that we become stagnant. We need to stretch our bodies. We need to stretch our minds. We need to move forward. Human beings will stagnate if they stay in the comfort zone. So what are you doing? Where are you trying to get to? What are you doing? Are you moving? Are you exercising? Are you training? What are you training for? Leave a comment below. Let me know. I want to know what you guys are all doing out there. I'm Dr. Robert Buda, the Lifestyle Doctor. Have a great day, everyone.